and that is nuked. In January of 2021, TaylorMade brought out the new Stealth 2 family of drivers, as well as the Stealth 2 family of fairway woods. But now that we're past the Masters and we're into April, TaylorMade has brought out a golf club that fits directly in between them. This is the TaylorMade BRNR Mini Driver. And it begs the question, who exactly did TaylorMade make this driver for? And is this a golf club that can help you lower your scores and should be in your bag? I'm going to answer those questions and more in this video. So first, let's talk about the specifications of the BRNR Mini Driver. It is a 308cc head that is going to be significantly smaller than a typical driver, which is going to be about 460 cc's typically, and significantly bigger than most 3-woods. 3-woods typically are going to go between, say, 170 to 185 cc's. So it's really splitting right down the middle in that regard. It has an all titanium body and chassis, but it does have a carbon fiber crown that's going to help to reduce the weight on the top of the golf club, lower the center of gravity, and create some discretionary weight for designers to move into places where it's going to help performance. The club is being offered in 2 lofts, 11.5 and 13.5, and there is an adjustable hosel mechanism on here that allows you to increase or decrease the loft by about 2 degrees. So there is quite a bit of variance in there. You can get one that will go down to as little as 9 degrees, making it a true driver, or you can take the 13.5 degree version and kick it all the way up to about 15.5, and now we're into true 3-wood country. Now, TaylorMade for the last couple of years has been bringing out mini drivers, but this is going to be the first one that has adjustable weights in the sole. The BRNR comes standard with a 13-gram weight in the back and a 1.5-gram weight in the front, and they're labeled heavier and lighter. When the heavier weight is in the back, you get a slightly higher launch angle, a little bit more spin, and slightly more stability. When you move that weight to the forward position, you're going to be moving the center of gravity forward, so you're going to get a touch more ball speed, a lower spin rate, as well as a lower launch angle. If you've got a driver with 460 cc's versus a 308cc, effectively a 2-wood, you're going to be giving up quite a bit of things. Number one, the driver is going to be significantly easier to hit. It's got a physically larger face to it. It also has a much higher MOI because the center of gravity is going to be further back in the head. That means you're going to have a lot more stability, a lot more forgiveness on off-center hits. Drivers also come standard between, say, 45 and 45.5 inches in length. The TaylorMade BRNR Mini Driver is going to come standard at 43 3/4. So it's on a physically shorter shaft, again, making it more fairway wood style. So with the same amount of effort, you should be swinging your driver faster than you're going to be swinging the mini driver. So that should equate to more ball speed and therefore more distance as well. The other way of looking at the TaylorMade BRNR Mini Driver is comparing it to a typical 3-wood. And I've got a Stealth 2 3-wood that is from TaylorMade that came out this year right here. And you can see the size difference is very noticeable. Again, the Stealth 2 is at 185 cc's. The BRNR Mini Driver is at 308 cc's. It's a massive difference in size when you lay it down behind the ball. So let's take care of that first question. Who did TaylorMade actually make this club for? Being if you're a player that only uses your 3-wood off the tee and you almost never are hitting 3-wood into long par 5s, then essentially your 3-wood is a secondary driving club. And if it is a secondary driving club, then having a more driver-like driving club could make a lot of sense. That could be for especially long hitters, players who have a lot of club head speed. They simply aren't going to need a 3-wood off the deck from the fairway. So if that's the case, going with the extra accuracy that you're going to be able to get with a shorter shaft and a little bit of added loft could make a lot of sense. The other type of player that could consider putting a mini driver into the bag are players who really struggle to hit up on their driver and to maximize distance. These types of players typically hit their fairway woods more solidly than they hit their drivers because they're making a descending blow into the ball. If you make a descending blow into a driver that's been teed up, you're going to be putting on excessive spin. You're probably going to be slicing it. So if you're a person who hits a high slice with your driver, but you find that you hit your 3-wood actually solidly and sometimes actually almost as far as you hit your driver, then a TaylorMade BRNR Mini Driver could be an option that could give you a little bit straighter shot and a little bit more distance than you're used to with your 3-wood. And that could make it an option we're talking about. With that increased size is going to come significantly more stability. So while it is going to be less stable than a driver, the TaylorMade BRNR Mini is going to have significantly more stability, a lot more forgiveness than is cooked into a typical 3-wood. To see how these clubs interrelate, I wanted to come out to a golf course and actually hit some shots with them. And I wanted to do it with a launch monitor so that I could actually get some data. Bushnell was able to provide me with a Launch Pro launch monitor so that I could collect that data. I also wanted to make sure that I was sort of comparing apples to apples. So I asked Fujikura to supply me with a shaft, and they were able to get me a Ventus Blue TR shaft. And I was able to put that not only in the driver, but also in the mini driver as well. And because of adjustable hosel mechanisms, I was able to put that same shaft into the Stealth 2 fairway wood as well. 246 carry, 148 ball speed, 2900 spin, 13.9 degree launch. .245 carry, 147 ball speed, 13.1 launch, 2824 spin. Okay, this is going to be with Mini Driver. Okay, so we are chasing 242 with driver. That is a bullet. And that is nuked. So the lesson that I'm learning is that you can't try and hit this like a driver. You can't hit it with a lift. If you do, you're going to top it. This has to be hit with a downward strike as you would hit a typical 3-wood or any other fairway wood. And when you do that, you can actually get some really interesting results. That ball had 215 yards of carry with a 142 ball speed, launched at 7.1, spin was 34.74, so a really interesting sort of number. And that was absolutely nutted. That ball was perfect. 219 carry, 140 ball speed, 11.2 launch, 35.49 spin. That is a very interesting shot, but I think the key whenever you're going to be trying to hit the BRNR Mini Driver is you have to hit this like a fairway wood. The temptation when you set the club behind the ball is to set up like you're hitting a driver. That's not going to work. You're going to end up topping this thing. If you tee it down like you would a 3-wood and actually tilt your shoulders back a little bit and try and think launch it up, it's not going to work. You need to come down into this shot. If you do that, the BRNR Mini Driver looks like it can deliver some pretty impressive numbers. That was at 11.5 degrees of loft. Now I'm taking this head off and I'm going to put a Stealth 2, 15 degrees. I'm going to set everything to standard. I've got the sliding weight that is in the Stealth 2 Plus 3-wood set in the neutral position. And let's see how this does. So now I've got the same Fujikura Ventus Blue TR 6X shaft that's going to now be set up in this Stealth 2 Plus 15 degree 3-wood. Let's see what we get. Good shot. 209 yards carry, 140 ball speed, 7.1 launch angle, 35.74 spin. 213 carry, 142 ball speed, 8 degree launch angle, 41.24 spin rate. So what are the big takeaways for me after hitting now the TaylorMade BRNR Mini Driver? Now, number one, when you hit it solidly, this thing really goes. The numbers bear that out. But I could definitely feel if I mishit this club, it wasn't going to save me. It wasn't going to help me as much because the MOI is lower than a standard driver. That's something you notice right away. The size actually didn't put me off that much. It's big enough in the address position where it felt somewhat reassuring, but I did find myself tipping my back shoulder back and wanting to elevate this, to hit this like my driver. And that was maybe the biggest, most interesting thing I saw. That's a mistake. You have to hit down on this club. It has to be struck like a fairway would in order to really get the performance you're going to be looking for. If you try and swing up on this and you have the ball teed down as you typically would with your fairway wood, it's going to give you inconsistent results, or at least for me, it gave me very inconsistent results. I don't typically top my fairway wood shots, and I topped a couple with this, and so that was somewhat surprising and something I think subconsciously I wound up doing. I think for the right type of player, the TaylorMade BRNR Mini Driver could make sense, but the only way you're going to be able to really find that out is to get one in your hands, try it out, get yourself a good custom fitter. There's lots of adjustability with the movable weights as well as with the adjustable hosel mechanism. The only way to find out if this could work for you is to get somebody to help you on a launch monitor, dial it in and see if this club can work for you. Look, if you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I've got lots more things that are going to be coming up over the course of the spring and summer. Hit that bell button so you can get notifications when I've got new videos coming out. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you again soon.